Hello friends, in this video we'll create the client key and the client certificate. Remember before we said when we worked on the client application key store, we said that the client application key store requires three things. Must have the client key, the client certificate, and the intermediate certificate so that the authentication can be happen between the server and the client. In this video we'll create the client key and the client certificate. Two things I want to highlight. First, I'm going to call the client key PostgreSQL instead of client because I'm using a PostgreSQL server, so in general Postgres requires or prefer that the client key should be named as PostgreSQL. Otherwise it's totally up to you. If you wish to name it any other name, it's totally up to you. The second thing is that since the intermediate key and the client key and the client certificate, they will be reside in the application side on the client machine. If the client machine's operating system is Windows doesn't prefer extension .pem. So either we use .key for the key or .crt for the certificate. We don't use PEM. Now, having said these two things, let's start diving. First, we create the client key. I'm using 2048-bit for encryption. Now we need to remove the passphrase. Okay, now passphrases have been removed. The next step is that we need to limit the access to this key only for the root. Done. The next step is that we need to create the certificate signing request for the client certificate with this code. Okay, remember here that this certificate will reside in the application, so we need to use, we don't use the company thing or the FQDN, we just use the email of the application or the individual address or email or name instead of fully qualified domain name. So in this case, let's say then the email supposedly horizon tech@gmail.com. So the owner of this client certificate will be this email. The info, right. This is the email. Okay, now we have created the certificate signing request of the client certificate. Now for the client certificate we can use self sign in and we have no problem. We don't need to take it to the global certificate authority. The next step is that we need to create the certificate, the client certificate. And we can do this with this code. Okay, this is the code to create the client certificate. Two things to notice. First of all, we are using extensions, user certs. Remember, for each client or server or intermediate, we should use its own extension that is mentioned in the OpenSSL file. And then we sign and trust this client certificate signing request with the intermediate certificate, and we give it a period of 370 days, 1 year. Now we have got our client certificate. Let's limit the access. Okay, where is the intermediate source? PostgreSQL cert.crt. Oh, without cert. Sorry. Okay, I've changed the mode. Finally, we need to verify the client certificate against the root chain certificate. Hopefully we get OK, and we have got the OK. Now the client certificate have been authenticated with the root chain certificate. Now our client key and client certificate both have the correct extension, and both are ready to be transferred to the application, so it can be used for with the intermediate certificate. So 3 of them they can use to authenticate the client and the server connection. Okay, thank you very much.